Hey folks, Jessica here. I am back as promised with another video on United Fight. This is part 2 in our series. If you missed part 1, I will put it all in a playlist in the description down below, so you can check out the whole United Fight series that talks about the big picture for United Fight all in one place once it's all up and finished. So today we're going to be talking about preliminaries since they're going on literally right now. They're going on from 7 p.m. January 17th to 11:59 January 18th, JST. You're going to have to do a time zone conversion for wherever you are yourself, because I am bad at time zones. So, yeah, the goal of prelims, they're a qualifying round, like I mentioned last time. How well you do here will determine what bracket you get into, what tier you get into, rather, A, B, or C for the finals, and that's going to determine how good the rewards are, and also how hard the teams you'll be facing are. Teams from A team are gonna probably be stronger than teams from B tier, and teams from C tier, obviously. What determines the tier you get into is your crew's rank. So right now, for example, my crew is around 5,000. I say around because this number doesn't update in real time. It updates, like, I want to say every 20 minutes, but don't quote me on that. And that's based on crew honors, which are the total amount of honors you guys get as a crew from doing these fights down here. So, big tip, the cutoffs are, for this particular United Fight, top 5,000 crews, Tier A, 5,001 through 12,000, Tier B, 12,001 through 22,000, Tier C. However, double check those if you're watching this in the future, because those numbers change all the time. Also, like, if you're an NA player especially, if you're trying to get an A tier, so like top 5,000, like my team's barely in top 5,000, try and shoot for way better than just enough to get into the tier you want. Because I guarantee you, if we were to do nothing until tomorrow, when prelims are over, we would probably drop to like rank 8,000 or higher overnight, especially as an NA player, because JP is basically sleeping right now, so like they will surge a lot overnight when NA is sleeping, just because of time zones. Also, I'll just throw out there that, like, as a crew, you're going to want to have similar goals, right? If you are the only person that wants to get into A tier and your whole crew is like, no, we'll just get in C tier, whatever. Maybe that crew is not the right one for you, because, like, you could, in theory, carry your entire crew into A tier, but one, they might not appreciate that, because it probably means they're going to get destroyed in finals, and also, you're going to be working real hard to carry people who aren't working as hard. Whereas, if you are a crew that is super hardcore and all want to get really high in A tier, or seeded, or whatever, then you're all going to go super hard during prelims. Just have similar goals to your crew, and you'll have the best results. So this is the part I was afraid of. There's so many different topics. I don't know where to start. Let's see. Okay, the biggest thing is, the goal of United Fight is to host these nightmare battles, because they give the most honor. Right now, in prelims, there's only one nightmare battle, but there's going to be progressively harder versions. Excuse me. This one's 90, which is going to be available during prelims. Like, it's the only thing available during prelims, but eventually, like, can't remember which rounds they get added in, but later on in the week, there'll be a Nightmare 95 and a Nightmare 100. And they get progressively more honors, but they're also progressively harder, and all of them take bait chunks, these things, to host. So this one takes 5. The Nightmare 95 takes 10 bait chunks of 5, and then Nightmare 100 will take 20 bait chunks. But the Nightmare 100 is always going to be the most efficient amount of honors you can get per bait chunk. So, there are these solo battles, if you're a wee baby, but, you know, everyone's got to start somewhere. These things are pretty easy. I'll just load one up real fast. Oh, by the way, for reference, my grid is on the left side of the screen, so you can get an idea of, like, what my power level is for this kind of thing. I used to be a dark main. I don't play dark as much anymore, but my dark grid is pretty strong, so your mileage might vary for these fights. Like, just boop. That's probably over. Yeah, the solo battle's pretty easy, but they also don't give a ton of rewards. So once this guy dies, I'll show you what you get from these. So tokens are for rewards, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And then honor here, which adds to your crew's honor total, 3,000 for that. And then you get beast bait slices from these easier solo fights. These things can be converted into beast bait chunks through this menu here. So 3 of them, well, just do it right now. 3 of them convert into a beast bait chunk. The solo battles are not an efficient way in terms of time spent to get beast chunks, but if they're all you can do, no shame in that. Like I said, you know, we're all wee babies once. What most people would do is they'll do the Extreme Plus version, and this will get you directly beast chunks. Let's go ahead and show you what this looks like. You guys always ask for more gameplay, so here's some gameplay. Actually, here, I'll use this team so it'll be exactly the grid that's listed. And again, remember, your mileage is going to vary depending on how strong your grids and your teams are. So don't necessarily be bummed out if you have different performance. Also, if you see my videos on doing like one-turn kills on these bosses, I certainly can set up my team to do that, but I tend to prefer just setting them up so like I don't have to click as much. So like, let's say I do that. This won't be a one-turn kill, but just put on auto and then I'm done. Like, this will basically be the fight over. The reason why I try to minimize clicks is I'm gonna do hundreds, if not thousands, of these things over the course of a United fight. And sometimes to achieve that one-turn kill, you gotta do a lot of clicking, and it gets really tiresome. Whereas if I can just hit auto and finish it real quick, like this, then like that's way more efficient for me in terms of energy spent for these. But yeah, so this guy's probably dead. And then I'll show you what you get from him. And remember, you got 3,000 honor for that first fight you did. This one gets you 51,000 honor basically, and then a bunch of tokens. So quite a lot more than the solo battle. And also you get beast chunks directly instead of beast bait slices. And then use those to host the Nightmare battle. I'll show that one in a sec, but you get the basic idea. So I mentioned you get tokens. Tokens for the token draw. And as I mentioned last time, you're going to have to pick a weapon to work towards. These are tied to the eternal characters you'll get, so figure out what character you want to work towards and then pick the weapon that corresponds with them. You can go specifically for a weapon for the purposes of using it, I guess, but that's not what people usually do. They usually prioritize what character they want to get. I haven't picked one yet, so I will go ahead and pick one right now. Who do I not have? Should have thought this through before I got to this point. I think I'm finally going to cave and get Siete. So I will work on 7-star sword. They add this UI, which is real nice. It shows you which character you're working towards. See, for example, harp would be Neon. 8 is katana, Ita. 6, you get it. So yeah, I'm gonna lock in sword. One cheeky cut later, as I'm losing my voice apparently. Here we are at the draw box. So I set it to sword, as I just showed you. And this is basically what you'll get from the draw box. Important thing to note about these first draw boxes is you can reset them as soon as you get the weapon from it, the SSR weapon. The final, everything after the 4th draw box, you're going to have to clear out the entire draw box in order to reset. So some people will just go for the weapon and then reset immediately. You can do that if you want to just get through the first 4 fast. I usually try and completely empty these out because the first 4 draw boxes tend to have better items like full elixirs and whatnot. These Uniting Fight supplies are pretty important for, especially for later fights. The revival potions are really nice because you don't have to use elixirs if you die for some reason. Another thing is, after you clear this first box, you're going to be able to change the weapon you're working towards. So what I'm going to do, and what a lot of people do, is they'll do what weapon they want to first, and get 4 copies so they can fully uncap it, and then they will switch weapons to another weapon they want to work towards. So I'll probably reset this sword after the 4th draw box, and then start working on the katana or something, because I don't have Eta, Octo, whatever you prefer. Important thing to note, there's this draw settings menu. This thing is the thing they added, I want to say a year ago, and this is actually a lot, this is a big quality of life thing, because you can set items to be auto sell or auto reserve. So like when you draw one, how do I get out of this menu? For example, like there's 80 normal weapons in here. There's also 160 like rare weapons that don't have skills on them. There's a bunch of angel weapons, archangel weapons. If you don't want the rare weapons or normal weapons, you can just set them to automatically sell. Otherwise, you're going to have to spend time clearing them out of your inventory, and it takes for goddamn ever, because you're going to go through thousands of these things. So yeah, make sure you set up your auto settings ahead of time. Let me just go ahead and do that right now. Just auto XP reserve, like something like that. So now everything that's rare and below from the 2 categories will be auto reserved. And then when you hit draw, it takes 2 tokens to draw once, so 200 tokens will draw 100 times. So I'm just going to do this a couple times just to show you. You'll get a summary of what you got. Treasures can randomly be pretty helpful because you need treasures for a lot of stuff. Supplies, rupees, CP. And as you can see, they automatically sent these to my chalices for reserving. Let me pull a couple more times. Just want to pull the sword to show you what it looks like. Watch me clear this entire box before I pull the sword. Hello. Give me my sword. Where's my fucking sword? You're killing me. I don't actually know how many items total are in this thing, so it could take a while to get this, but we will try our best. Killing me, game. Now I need to get the sword, or it's gonna be, this is all gonna be for naught. Oh my god. So this is why sometimes people reset early, just because they don't like doing all this rolling, but these first boxes are better than the last boxes, so definitely for first 4 I'd recommend you completely empty them, but you know, do what you like. I'm gonna empty this whole entire freaking box. Okay, there we go, it's the sword. So now I have 1 sword. I need total 4 to fully uncap it. What's even left in this box at this point? Okay, I'm gonna not follow my own voice and just reset this to show you what that looks like. But yeah, see, once this box, now I can change the weapon if I want to change a different weapon, or I can reset the box. I'm gonna go ahead and reset the box. Contents of the box reset. We are now able to get another sword, and we're on box number 2. And then we'll do 3 and then 4, and then we'll have to clear out boxes after that in order to keep on drawing. So that's token draw. That's how you get the weapons. That is a big part of United Fight, but it's not the only reward method. The loot tab over here will give you battle badge rewards, so there's a nice progression of rewards you get from getting badges. You get badges from doing different fights, gold and silver. If you've done any events before, you know what this is like. Progressively better rewards, etc. I'll just go and grab these now. As you can see, I have not picked anything up since United Fight started. I don't tend to. I just pick them up at the end, but yeah, do what you want. Honors. Same thing as any other event, basically. Honors, just show you how far it goes up. Go up to 90,000. These are totaled over the whole like stretch of United Fight. It's up to you how high you want to go here, but usually if you're trying to shoot for like winning fights and like placing high in prelims, you're probably just going to achieve all of these through the course of your United fight. But yeah, if there's specifically something you want in here, then like you can also set a goal for yourself in terms of honors. And then the big thing is these Valor badges. I haven't talked about these at all, but these are the main currency for United fight. So during prelims, you can get, let's see, what's this? 30 badges? This is why I said you need to join a crew, because if you are not in a crew, you're only going to really get badges from this phase. And 30 badges is not a lot. But if you were to get into the later phases, like every win in A tier is 60 badges, which is double what you can get from prelims. B tier is 25 for a win, I think, and C tier is 10 and some tokens. Also, you're going to get badges based on your ranking at the end, your individual ranking. And then there's a final rally, which I'll talk about as the week goes on, because there's too much to talk about on this topic. But yeah, what do you do with badges? Well, I'm glad you asked. You can trade badges for different rewards. For 450, you get the gold bar package. So it's a gold brick, 1 Supreme Merit, 200 Champion Merits. It is the only infinite source of gold bars. Because if you normally get your gold bars through Rise of the Beasts, gold nuggets, those are limited actually. You can only get so many from those. And then for 275 badges, you can get this package, which has a Sunlight Stone, character weapon draw ticket, summon draw ticket, 3 Supreme Merits, 3 Champion Merits, and a random Fury Stone for some reason. All this stuff is nice, but the thing you do this for is the Sunlight Stone. If you're not familiar with Sunlight Stone, they let you uncap an SSR summon. Any SSR summon, you can spend 1 Sunlight Stone to uncap. Just like gold bars or Damascus ingots. Now the difference is there's a few avenues to get gold bars and Damascus ingots. Like you can get Damascus ingots from moons. You cannot trade moons for Sunlight Stones. There's only 2 ways I'm thinking of off the top of my head to get a Sunlight Stone. One is United Fight, and the other one, which they added because it wasn't always available, was the Arcarum, which I need to do a video on. God, so many things, so much content. But yeah, those are 2 sources for Sunlight Stones. Arcarum has a limited set of Sunlight Stones, so United Fight used to be primarily about these Sunlight Stones. Why that's important is, if you get an SSR summon that you really like, why are all my icons busted? Okay. You get an SSR summon you really like you get a Shiva, for example. The only way to uncap Shiva further, to get a better aura, is to get another Shiva and uncap it with another Shiva. But since you have a Sunlight Stone, you can use a Sunlight Stone to further uncap this the summon if you want to. This is incredibly powerful because having a fully uncapped, strong summon is one of the biggest factors in how much damage you can do, how well you're going to perform as a team. So like Sunlight Stones are super, super, super valuable. And they're adding new characters you can unlock called Oracles, which will probably take Sunlight Stones to unlock also. So Sunlight Stones are very precious. They're like gold bars. Don't spend them willy-nilly, and definitely like aim to get them. Now, that's Valor badges. I'm going to just give a quick warning here. You keep your Valor badges between United fights. So right now, I have 275. I had like 250 going into this because I had 250 from last time. I don't recommend you ever... Sorry, I have 350. I need 275 for this. I don't recommend you ever buy anything less than a Sunlight Stone package. All these other packages, the 200, the 150, 100, 30, 10, 1, garbage. Don't ever spend your badges on anything except for the Sunlight Stone. All these other tiers you can get everywhere else. Like, what do you get for a 200 pack? You get some crystals, you get some draw tickets, whatever, and you get like a Fury Stone, a Pebble, an Archangel Queen. These aren't SSR guaranteed tickets either. They're just character draw tickets, so like not really that big a deal. And that's 200 badges. That's a lot of badges. 275 is where you get the Sunlight Stone. and 450 gold brick. So I would recommend, if you have less than 275 by the end of United fight, save it till next time. Like, you never want to spend those badges on anything less than the 275 pack. I don't honestly know why they even make an option to. It's just a trap. So, that's badges. What else do we want to talk about? I'm not going to talk about the betting right now. I'll do that once we get into the actual finals, because there's just so much stuff to talk about. One interesting thing is you can see the rankings for your crew here, like where people stack up. You also see this is for the day, this is for the total, like the total period of United fight. Just if you want to like get an idea of who's slacking or something. The other thing you can do is if you go over to rankings here, you can see how crews rank up. So like my crew is on 122 million. The number one crew is on 2 billion, 617 million. Wow. And then like, yeah, you can just see, finals haven't started yet, so you can't see those. But finals will have the different days of the fights. The one that's going to be important is individual ranking, because based on your individual ranking at the end of this, you'll get badges, among other things. If you're top 30,000, you get 100 badges, which is a considerable amount. Right now, I'm at 60,000, so I will get 50 badges. But yeah, if you want to get all the badges possible, you want to shoot for top 30,000 in Valor, but you know, that's pretty tough. Another fun thing I usually look at is it will show you like the top 3 players, what they're running, how many fights they've done, their total. This guy has 528 million on his own. That's 5 times the amount my crew has, basically. The crew I'm in right now, it's not super hardcore. It's just joining an old friend's crew because just want to relax for a United fight or two. But yeah, so you can look at their teams, and if you have no idea what you're doing as far as team building goes, or like what the meta is, this can be a good way to understand like what is considered really good for this United fight, because this is the number 1 player right now in the world for this United fight, so you can kind of get an idea of what's popular. So like he's running 6, obviously. Looks like he's running a fist team, so 6 is a melee character, Orchid's a melee character, Rene and Wolf and Rene are a melee / gun character, and he's running the Ultimate Claw. She's running the Ultimate Claw. So yeah, obviously a fist team. It's a really good setup. It's probably using stuff like tag team and whatnot to burn down the meat-giving bosses real fast. So yeah, I think that's all I really want to cover today. I'm just going to jump in and show you what the battle with the Nightmare Vortex Dragon looks like. Check my pending battles. What am I checking? Oh. Never mind, ignore this. Okay. Is it an Akasha earlier? Akashas are failing really bad right now, because most of the people who are strong enough to do it aren't joining them because they're all doing United fight. So like hosting hard events right now during this week is probably actually a really bad time because everybody's doing United fight. So yes, Vortex Dragon. I will go with this team. This team seems fine. I'm using the Vegeta skin, but it's a Warlock, basically. So I will link to the page that breaks down these fights specifically, but it's just like any other like raid boss. You can summon help if you need it. Oh, one important thing to remember, only honors that are gotten by you or crew members will go to your total. So if you request help from like public and other crews jump in here, your crew won't get the points that those other guys get. Obviously, some people will miss that. So if you're focusing on getting points for specifically your crew and not just boxes or whatever, just only request help from your own crew. So let me get some debuffs up. I'll do a Splitting Soul to get myself some charge bar, put Chaser up for that Echo, do a Dark Heeze to weaken him. do a conjunction because I am a scumbag dark player with Summer Zoe. Reduce everyone's HP to 1. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and give Narmaya some multi-attack and butterfly effector. Then go ahead and do Incision on Jean. And also lower the enemy's death some more. Hit it with an Ether Blast. And then we'll summon Bahamut to give us a buff. I'm doing this part in one take, so hopefully this doesn't end up really ugly. Alright, so now we'll Oogie with our Parazonium, which will give everybody a bigger Echo still, and a ton of multi-attack. Them numbers, though. Now, I'll pray this Thunder Blaze doesn't kill someone important. No, it didn't kill anybody. It killed Jean. Whatever. It's fine. Let's go ahead and Olivia comes out, use her, what is this? Her buff. What is this called again? Nevermore. Use both her nukes. And then this guy's in overdrive right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop Narmaya's Overdrive Assassin. Gonna turn off auto here because I don't want them to Oogie. Because Dark is definitely MDD Dark is definitely one of those teams that would rather auto attack than Oogie most of the time. Because Echoes don't apply to Oogies for the most part. You'll see what I mean when it gets to Narmaya's turn. So like she's hitting for around 1,400,000 plus like a 300-400,000 Echo, and she's hitting 3 times. That's way more than she would ever Oogie for. Like if she Oogied, it would be like 2,250,000 or something. That is just way more damage. It's just an artifact of the way Echoes interact with Oogies. I'll probably do another video on that at some point. Activate Blaspheming Wolves, and then do a butterfly effect again. Put up damage shield from Alexio. I can turn on auto now because I do want to Oogie. Kill the little gamma ray. I love her animation for Oogies. This might actually kill it. Let's see how big burst hits for. No, it sure didn't kill it. Fine. Lightning me, whatever. I don't take any damage because I have Alexiel's Summon. Okay, now he's dead. So once this thing dies, let's see what rewards you got. So I think it was what, like 3,000 honor for the solo fight. The EX Plus was like 50,000 honor, I want to say. This is going to be about 250,000 honor, 260,000 honor. So like much better honor gain for your time for doing these bigger fights, if you can handle them. You also get bonus for doing them solo if you can do them solo. If you can't, no big deal, just invite some crew members to help. But yeah, and then you get a whole ton of tokens also. So this is the most efficient way to get honor for your crew. And yeah, that's prelims. So you're going to do this cycle, you're going to do these EX pluses, get meat, and then host nightmares to get your score up. If you are one of those teams that is like super active, the biggest limiting factor in how many points you can get is how much meat your crew has. It's all about the meat. So what some people will do is they'll grind exclusively Extreme Plus in the prelims phase. So they have like 500,000, 2,000 meat going into the actual rounds. You can do that if you want, but honor does come a lot slower from the X Plus. So just determine what your crew is going for. But yeah, that covers prelims for the most part. If there is something I didn't talk about that you want to know more about, just feel free to post down below, because honestly, there's so much to talk about. Next time, I will talk about the actual finals rounds, talk about the bookmaker a little bit if you want to bet with some betting tickets, and yeah, I'll show you the harder versions of the fights. But yeah, until next time, yeah, post below if you got any questions. I'll be streaming some during the finals, maybe before prelims, and I'll stream some. So check me out on Twitch, check me out on social media, check me out on Patreon. I appreciate all of that. Links are in the description down below, and if you want to watch the rest of the series, I'll put them in playlists. Thanks for coming. I love you all. See you next time.